Buildings and Cigarettes by Eileen Myles. I'm thinking of tall buildings creating shadows, long shadows. I'm thinking about gray, which I normally like, but gray where there had never been gray before, and the meaning of the word overshadow. I'm thinking of immense tall buildings that hadn't been there when a park was planned. So when you were there with your baby, or your dog, or were homeless and sitting on the grass, when you were dreaming in the daytime, it was not just a long, dark sit. It's like someone had decided that you should have a cigarette even though you quit. And you are forced to sit in the dark and smoke that cigarette, but instead it is a tall building and all its shadows that didn't need to be there, but someone felt that what was going on inside of it was more important than the resulting new dark of the park. The tall buildings started to pop up all over the place. In the East Village that used to groan when the fall came, NYU, we'd hiss. And it meant that the East Village was always our neighborhood, but come fall, all these kiddies would suddenly be streaming into the streets with their avidity and suburban fashion. But there were more of us than them, so the problem was fortunately contained. They were actually still part of what there was. And there were many things here, including students. Then, by the 21st century, they were living in our buildings, not like us, but like them. Their parents had bought them apartments, or else were paying the rent, which was 5 times higher than ours. They were wandering or running through the halls of the building at night with their beers, or also in their bathrobes between apartments with their cups of tea. They were incredibly loud, the way they were talking. Like no one was living there. Like they were living in a dorm. They were. And we don't talk to each other at the mailbox, us and those students, but the neighborhood still was ours. Who are we? A very, very diverse sort for decades and even hundreds of years. But when an institution begins to actually believe that a neighborhood is their campus, and that this neighborhood is theirs and not ours, whoever we are, then they themselves are impoverished, no matter how much rent they're paying, because they are thinking they need nothing they can get lost in, nothing outside of their institution to learn from. The city is increasingly gone, which is sad, because the university's value was largely it and us. The students came to be surrounded by us. The pigeons and the buses and the galleries and the cars and the people, the old people and the middle-aged people, us. The collective vagueness that has given the students something to mill around is both fragile and strong. And if more and more tall buildings cast their ashes into the place to imperialize the place with the university's flag and shadows, and where the punks are now gone, and the poets are gone, and the queers are gone, and the junkies are gone, and the people bumming money, and the Puerto Ricans and the Ukrainians are gone, all the immigrants who came for a million things, not one, then a neighborhood has been mollified into a private public place. Something replacing what used to be a mix which sustains life, the mottled and gleaming gift of the city, the collective of it. Something dirty, something changing, so old and new, something beyond itself, the city, rich and sordid, crazy, momentarily shaded when a cloud passes over, when the sky's dark. Not just another tall cigarette. Oh no, not just NYU.